For billions of years, biological life followed a locked sequence of birth, reproduction, and death. But right now, inside labs scattered across the globe, we are thawing out cells that bypass that sequence entirely. We have found a way to duplicate living creatures and even resurrect the dead without seeds or natural reproduction. Scientists are now using microscopic lasers to harvest intact DNA from physical artifacts, like this 43,000-year-old mammoth tusk found in a stream in Alaska. They are piecing together ancient genetic codes in an active attempt to bring extinct giants back to the mainland. Popular culture often portrays this as an industrial printing process, or as simple as copying a digital file. In reality, cloning is a biological procedure that requires a living host and a very specific type of cell transfer. Technically, it's called reproductive cloning. It involves the creation of a genetically identical whole organism using nothing but the pre-existing body cells of a single donor. Life is no longer solely a product of natural selection. It has become a matter of engineering, a precise, reproducible procedure that has effectively hacked the oldest rules of biology. This surgical process is known as somatic cell nuclear transfer, or SCNT. It operates at a scale so fine that these specialized pipettes are required to manipulate a single cell at a time. Scientists extract a nucleus, the genetic instruction manual, from a donor's somatic cell. Simultaneously, a microneedle hollows out an unfertilized egg by discarding its original nucleus. The donor's nucleus is then slid into the empty egg, merging the two into a single hybrid cell. To jumpstart the biological process, the cell is hit with a microscopic burst of electricity. This shock tricks the hybrid egg into reacting as if it has been naturally fertilized. If the shock works, the cell begins to divide, forming an early-stage embryo called a blastocyst. This is then implanted into a surrogate mother to gestate just like any other pregnancy. It's the ultimate form of cellular reprogramming, stripping an adult cell of its past identity and forcing it to reboot as a brand new life form. In 1996, this theoretical framework produced a tangible result, a Finn Dorset sheep named Dolly. Before Dolly, biological dogma stated that once an adult body cell specialized, becoming a skin cell or an udder cell, its destiny was locked. The path of cellular development was considered a one-way street. Dolly's birth proved that the cellular clock could be manually reset to zero, reversing decades of biological specialization. She served as the definitive proof that humans could manipulate the timeline of life at will. CNCT is now the driving force behind modern biovaults. This scientist is freezing blood and tissue samples of over 1,000 different species in high-capacity cryogenic tanks. The goal is to use these genetic backups for de-extinction. Labs are currently working to sequence the genomes of animals wiped from the Earth, including the dodo bird and the woolly mammoth. Resurrecting these species is intended to restore specific biological functions to ecosystems that have spent centuries in decline, using cloned ancient DNA to reintroduce lost biodiversity. Cloning has evolved into humanity's primary contingency plan for the natural world. Despite the technological progress, the process remains staggeringly inefficient. In many labs, it takes hundreds of failed, unviable embryos to produce a single viable living clone. Even the survivors face significant complications. Many cloned animals exhibit shortened lifespans, severe health defects, and unpredictable genetic errors that do not appear in natural-born offspring. This leads to a difficult ethical intersection. If the technology matures for dogs and mammoths, we have to determine the moral boundaries for human cloning and the implications of treating life as a commercial product. Cloning gives us the ability to copy life, but it also asks us to define our limits when we choose to override nature's rules. To see how these resurrected species might actually save Earth's ecosystems, click here for our deep dive into the rewilding movement. We'll see you there.